For more than 1,000 years, Westminster Abbey has stood as one of the most iconic landmarks in the world. Kings and queens have been crowned here, poets and scientists have been laid to rest within its walls, and its very stones whisper the history of England. But recently, a team of scientists made a discovery that left the world stunned and revealed secrets long buried beneath this sacred ground. Westminster Abbey was founded in the year 960 by Benedictine monks. Later, King Edward the Confessor rebuilt it in the Romanesque style and was buried there in 1066. Since then, it has been the site of every British coronation. But for centuries, rumors swirled that beneath the abbey lay hidden chambers, forgotten tombs, and treasures of the medieval church. Most historians dismissed these as myths, until now. In 2019, a group of scientists and archaeologists began using ground-penetrating radar and 3D scanning technology to study the abbey's foundations. Their goal was simple: to preserve the structure for future generations. But as their machines mapped the soil beneath the church, they began to see outlines of chambers that no one knew existed. At first, they thought it was a mistake. The walls were too perfectly shaped, the corridors too straight. But after weeks of research, the team realized the truth. Beneath Westminster Abbey was an underground complex untouched for hundreds of years. When archaeologists carefully opened a small entrance beneath the cloisters, they were shocked by what they found. Inside was a series of stone vaults containing carved coffins, clay jars, and fragments of medieval manuscripts. The air was heavy, the smell of ancient dust filling the chambers. One coffin stood out from the rest. It was decorated with elaborate carvings of angels and lions, symbols of power and faith. Tests later revealed that the coffin dated back to the early 12th century, possibly belonging to a forgotten noble or even a high-ranking church official who had been erased from history. But that was only the beginning. In another chamber, the team found shelves carved into the walls. On them were fragments of parchment protected in wax-lined jars. Some were written in Latin, others in Old English. Scholars who examined the texts were stunned. These writings spoke of royal secrets, church politics, and hidden alliances that shaped medieval England. One passage described a secret council that met beneath the abbey during the reign of Henry III. Another spoke of treasure moved into the crypts to protect it from Viking raids centuries earlier. Could these be the lost treasures of early English kings? The scientists also found something even more chilling. In one corner of the crypt, they uncovered the skeletal remains of a young child, buried hastily without a coffin. Analysis showed that the child had likely been from the 13th century. Who was this child, and why had they been buried in secrecy beneath Westminster Abbey? Theories began to swirl. Some suggested the child may have been of royal blood, hidden away to protect a dynasty from scandal. Others believed it was a victim of plague, buried quickly in fear of spreading disease. The truth, however, remains a mystery. News of the discoveries spread quickly across the world. Historians called it one of the greatest finds in modern English archaeology. For centuries, the abbey had been thought of as merely a church and burial ground. Now it was clear that it had been much more: a fortress of secrets, a library of forbidden knowledge, and perhaps even a vault of hidden treasures. Tourists visiting the abbey today still walk across the same stone floors, unaware of what lies beneath their feet. But thanks to science, the world now knows that this ancient site has stories yet to tell. Why it matters today. The discoveries beneath Westminster Abbey remind us that history is never truly finished. What we think we know can always be challenged by new evidence. Each hidden chamber, each ancient text, each forgotten burial tells us something about who we are and where we came from. For the scientists, the journey is far from over. Work continues to carefully study the artifacts and preserve them for future generations. For the world, the discoveries are a reminder that the greatest secrets often lie hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to be revealed. Perhaps the most haunting question remains: what else lies beneath Westminster Abbey? Some experts believe there are still more chambers waiting to be uncovered. Others whisper of treasures hidden by kings who feared their riches would be stolen. And some believe the abbey holds spiritual relics that could change the history of Christianity itself. Until the ground gives up all of its secrets, Westminster Abbey will remain not only a house of worship, but also one of the greatest mysteries of our world.